Evening guys, what is up? And welcome back to another constructed playthrough. We are returning to our ranked climbing for the month of July, and today we're going to be playing some mid-range Shaman. And mid-range Shaman is very similar to aggro Shaman, but there's a few choice card swap outs that basically it changes a lot of how the deck functions. It's still a very aggressive deck, but it can function further into the late game. It doesn't rely nearly as much on the early game aggression as much as other decks, which can be a good thing. It can still be very aggressive in the early game. As you can see, this hand is going to allow us to drop 2 1-drops turn 1, which is going to be quite strong. The difference between this deck, the main difference between this deck and the aggressive card counterpart to it is inclusions of cards like Flame Tongue Totem, Manatide Totem, and AoE removals such as Lightning Storm and Elemental Destruction. We also have Alakir, the Windlord, as a finisher. Alakir and Rockbiter together is a very, very strong source of burst damage to close out a game. Alakir having charge, Alakir having Divine Shield, Taunt, Charge, and Wind Fury all together in one package. He used to be much worse. Actually, I had pulled Alakir twice when I started up the game. He was actually the first legendary that I ever pulled, and back in the day, Silence was so rampant that I considered him so bad that I actually disenchanted him both times that both times that I pulled him, I disenchanted him to get the extra 400 dust. Because he, won, in my opinion, won Silence, and he just turned into an 8-drop, that, like a 3/8 that was an 8-drop, and it was so useless in my opinion. But now he has found his way back into the meta, which, I mean, it's actually, kind of a good thing, because he's a really cool card. So, if that was any other 1-3, I'd have gone face, but one of the big things about Acolyte of Pain, especially against Freeze Mage, which is what we are most likely playing against, a slight possibility of also playing against Reno Mage, but that really doesn't change much of how we handle this matchup. But when you see an Acolyte of Pain, one of the big things is to try and not let him draw more than one card with it. So if you can efficiently remove the Acolyte of Pain by dealing the perfect 3 damage to it, then that's a huge boon to your cause. So it looks like he's setting up for a looking like he is setting up for an AoE next turn. So I'm going to go ahead and Hero Power and pass, and we actually got lucky, and getting the Healing Totem actually puts both of our Spirit Wolves out of range of his Blizzard. That is the word that I was looking for earlier. Him freezing the board and pinging down my Flame Tongue Totem to an 0-2 to 1 damage made me definitely feel like he was looking for an AoE next turn. So I'm going to go ahead and Hero Power up again, and then I am going to drop the Tuskar Totemic. Okay, so I did not get the totem that I was looking for again. The Healing Totem would have saved any of these 3 minions on the board, or it would have done nothing. Alright, that's okay. But we got his Blizzard and his Flame Strike, and regardless of whether or not this is a Reno or a Reno or a Freeze Mage. Generally speaking, most Reno and Freeze Mages don't run more than one of each of those. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and X that. I really don't need the spell damage in this game, so I'm gonna... Hello, darkness, my old friend. It's been a while, RNG. How you doing? So, the idea behind that play is that 4/4 for 5 drop is, generally speaking, not the greatest of stats, but the draw and the spell power usually make up for that. However, and the idea is that upping that to a 6 drop, generally speaking, would work out pretty well for me.
There is a lot at stake.
Fortunately, that's not really what happened in this game. So, I digress. And I'm a little tilted, because that was actually a bad play. Oh, hello. Okay, so Alec here. It's actually... Hold up. Did we just draw lethal? 6, 9, 18.
That's incredible.
We're gonna...
Greetings, friend.
We're just gonna rub this in.
Well played.
So, as I mentioned at the beginning of this match, Alec here, great reach with Rock Biter, very powerful, totally coming in to quite literally save our asses. I don't even feel bad. I don't even feel bad. So yeah, that is game 1 of Midrange Shaman, and I'm feeling pretty good after that top deck. I could completely get wiped this next game, and I'm just gonna ride that high.
Draw versus Rexa.
Let the hunt begin for Doomhammer.
Alright. So we're gonna go ahead and try and draw a better 2-drop than Flame Tongue. Flame Tongue is good on a board with a couple minions on it, not on a board with a 1-drop or an empty board, especially not an empty board. It's actually, for obvious reasons, useless on an empty board. So, obviously playing against a hunter, we are probably either playing against a mid-range hunter or a Yogg and Load hunter, which uses a combination of Lock and Load and a lot of hunter spells, and Yogg's their own, to finish off the game. And the Yogg and Load is actually much more similar to a control deck than a mid-range deck or a aggro deck, which is usually what Hunter is known for. So him pointing out the quick shot makes me lean towards this being a Yogg deck, but we're still pretty high in the ranks, so it still could be either or. The Archthief Rapham, however, leads me to believe that this is, in fact, a Yogg mode deck. So...
Did you bring some fish?
So we definitely have to be... This is a control deck that we're playing against. We have to consider this to be a control deck. And we need to play as such. We need to be the aggressive ones here.
It's getting hot in here.
Just considering a lightning storm there, but it's not very strong right now. Especially not with the Death Rattle summon 2/1/1 spiders.
Mind if I roll need?
Let the pain speak to me.
This is a much better board to drop the AoE on. So I'm just gonna cut down that. Unfortunate. Hopefully we roll high on the Acolyte, so we don't let him draw extra cards. Fortunately, that's not the case. So he is going to get the extra card draw here, but we did our best to avoid that. So, next turn we're going to have a grand total of 5 mana to work with. We're probably going to be dropping down the Azure Drake here. Hopefully. Hoping that isn't a snipe. Okay, it's a bear trap. Not as bad.
Job's done.
The problem with Yogg Saron decks is that it becomes really hard to play around his secrets because he's got so many in his deck. Alright, here we go. Just does not want to give me. Kill it, please. Thank you. Does not want to give me that spell damage totem. But we got lucky and we rolled high on the Iron for Grizzly.
My fire
That was unfortunate.
Did you bring some fish?
at that point, at last turn, I could have either tried to kill off the Ragnaros, or I could have gone face. What I decided to do was fill up the board to try and give as many low-value targets to Ragnaros as possible. And then try and go for lethal on this turn. So right now, I have 5. So I do have lethal. So kill that off. Do not have lethal. Kill me. Alright, I can either drop on the totem golem, doesn't help my situation much. And if he Yogg, alright, we're gonna play around Yogg-Saron here. If he plays Yogg-Saron and he clears the board for whatever reason, then I want to have cards in my hand to have a play next turn. And I believe Yogg-Saron is really the only card right now that can save him.
Beasts betray me.
Oh, looks like he's just dead. Yep. Yeah.
Well played.
Just simply dead. Alright. One thing that I like about this set of standard is that whenever I play against a class, I don't know immediately
For Doomhammer.
right away what they're playing. Like it's reasonable to expect a couple different plays, a couple different deck types out of them. Like if I play against Paladin, it's either N'Zoth or some aggressive build. I haven't come across my mid-range deck yet, to be completely honest. But I liked my mid-range deck. So, whatever. If I come across a mage, it's either tempo or some freeze or Reno of some sorts, or like there's options for each deck. So this is obviously some more aggressive version of Paladin. So right now I can either Tunnel Trog and play the curve game, or I could 50-50 it. And if I win the 50-50, then I effectively win the game. So I like winning turn 1, so let's roll that die. There we go. Alright, so turn 1 we have the board against a very aggressive deck. And we're going to try and keep it that way.
Mind if I roll need?
So, and top decking the second 1-draw. Extremely powerful. So we are the aggressor now against the aggro deck. This deck doesn't have many ways to come back on the board effectively. So this game, for the first couple turns, we're going to play it out more like we're playing your typical aggro shaman, because we got that, we won that 50-50 and we got the strong curve.
Reporting for duty.
I fight.
Toasty. 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 Toasty.
Tempting to go face, but this turn he can either have Consecration, or he could have done a King's Blessing, too many things that he could have done.
Follow the rule. Elders guide.
Sacrifice a little bit of health to keep my strong board presence and trade off for his minion. So right now we've really got him on the back foot. So it looks like this is actually is the Zoth Paladin. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep on applying as much pressure as possible. Because in the matchup against the Zoth Paladin, I need to be the aggressor in this. I need to make him waste his heals. I need to... Because if we both go to the late game, then he has the heals and I do not.
No,
he has the board clears and I don't have as many reliable board clears as he does. Let's see here. Could swing in for 4.
I fight.
I think that's just what I'm gonna do. I don't want to give him any valuable targets, first of all, in this right now. Or anything that he can run into.
Don't worry, loves. The cavalry's here. Don't worry, loves. The cavalry's here.
Interesting. Is this actually in the soft deck? I just feel like this is something else.
I fight.
Kill it. Nice. And you take my 1/1, and I do not care. So, slightly confused because the Stampede in Kodo made me think that this was an Azoth deck. But then his inclusion of the 2 Argent Horse Riders, it speaks to a more aggressive archetype of a deck. So I really am not sure. It actually might be more mid-range than anything else, what I'm playing against right now. I'm actually slightly stumped right now. So, yeah, I'm going to settle into for the long game and try and figure out more of what this deck really is.
Put your faith in the light.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I really don't see what we can do against this board. Ideally, we would have killed off Ragnaros last turn, but I didn't see a way to do that. Maybe upon looking back, maybe I rushed the turn and there was a way to kill Ragnaros, but killing Ragnaros would have been the best bet. But I just did not see a way to really do it. So,
Reporting for duty. By the holy light!
I almost want to say that I'm trying to roll for a Doomsayer, but am I dead next turn? 17, yeah, I'm dead next turn. So I need to do something about this board. Yeah, I don't think it matters. I think we're just dead. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're just dead, guys. Because swing, swing, swing. 8, 9 to us. Oh, hello. Alright. Yeah, we're definitely dead.
Get in there and fight, maggot!
Yeah, I know how this movie ends. Alright, guys. Well, that was unfortunate. But I hope this gives you guys a better idea of what to expect from Midrange Shaman. And I realized that I actually did not show you guys the deck list at the beginning of this video, so I'm going to go ahead and take a moment to show that to you guys right now. So, what I run is I have 1 Argent Scryer, the 2 Rockbiter weapons, 2 Tunnel Trogs, the Flame Juggler, Flame Tongue, 2 Feral Spirits, the Hex, and I'll just go through this real quickly. Totem Carver, which we didn't draw this game, 2 Masters, Azure Drake, Thunderbolt Valiance, Fire Elemental, Thing for Below, and Alakir. Other substitutions that are viable is tossing in 1 Primal Fusion. Another substitution is to fit in a single Elemental Destruction, which actually probably would have helped us in that last game. Or to drop in a Manatide Totem, which I actually thought I had in this deck, but apparently I did not toss a Manatide Totem in there. So, yeah. Another card that is also quite good is the Flame Wreath Faceless in this deck. I just didn't particularly want to feel like running it in this list, but there's plenty of different cards that you can toss in to this deck archetype. This is a much slower version of it that I run. The Flame Wreath Faceless, the weapons and that kind of stuff, that makes it a lot faster. Elemental Destruction adds much more safety to it. Adding a single one in there can keep you alive for a very long time. And I hope you guys get the opportunity to try out this deck archetype. And once again, if you feel like it, feel free to drop a like or subscribe. It really helps me out. Seeing people like my videos or subscribe makes me that much more interested in making more videos, and it keeps me motivated to keep on producing this stuff, because at the end of the day, you can only listen to yourself talk so much. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and hopefully I will see you guys next time.